Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Jen with Timeline Tarot, and this is your tarot card for the week of July 12th, 2026. It is a general collective reading. So as the messages come through today, take what fits, leave what doesn't, because if it's not your message, it simply means it is meant for someone else. And please check your other placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. And if you're not sure what those placements are, in the description box of this video is a link where you can obtain your free birth chart. Also, Capricorn, keep in mind, this is not what you don't see coming for the week ahead. The tarot card of the week reading, though, is intended to be a message to you from source, something that they want you to consider at this time so you can make a decision that is best for you and your life moving forward. So with all of that said now, loving my Capricorn collective lately, let's get into your energy now. Tapping into the energy of the Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. What is the tarot card of the week here for the Capricorn collective for the week of July 12th, 2026? Let's get one more shuffle here. Thank you. You've been on one hell of a journey, and now it's like transitioned into a healing journey, which is nice to see. So you have the Six of Pentacles. What situation in your life needs balance? Bottom of the deck, we have Seven of Pentacles. What situation in your life are you ready to invest your time, energy, and money into? So there's a situation, environment, or connection that you are considering, okay, investing yourself into. Right behind that, we have the Nine of Pentacles. But it's important that, like, this time around, we do it differently. This time around, it needs to be better balanced. Financially, emotionally, maybe in terms of communication, sharing household chores, that type of thing. Needs to be more balanced, more reciprocal in nature. Tell me more about this here, please, for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. And that doesn't mean 50-50 every day, you know, and I kind of made that mistake when I was going through the divorce. I went through like 18 months of therapy afterwards, and I was in the new relationship, but I wanted to be a better partner in the new relationship than I was in the marriage, because I had to be honest with myself. He wasn't the complete, you know, my ex wasn't the complete reason why a 24-year marriage failed. I had to be honest and go, yeah, I contributed to that in some way, and now I want to go to therapy to get better, so, you know, I don't repeat that mistake. Anyway, the point of me sharing this story with you was towards the end of the 18 months, she said to me, so what have you learned about balance in relationships? And I said, they should be 50-50. And she said to me, you learn nothing. And she was laughing. It was, you know, she's quite the joker. And Carolyn, and she goes, you learn nothing. And I was like, what? And she goes, they're never 50-50. That's the Disney fairy tale pipe dream. The truth is, some days you're 70 and they're 30. And some days they're 30 and you're 70. And that's the ebb and flow of a healthy relationship. As long as you're always at 100%, that's what matters. Just make sure that you're not always at the 70 or you're not always at the 30, because then it's either not fair to you or not fair to your person. But the ebb and flow is not 50-50. That's roommate style, she said, where the electricity bill comes in and it's $100 and you sit down and you go, okay, you owe me 50. That is transactional, the 50-50. She's like, you may have that with your friends. You may have that with people when you go out to dinner. You're like, we're going to split the check evenly type of thing. You know, that's what you have at work. I work 40 hours a week. You pay me for 40 hours a week. It's very transactional. But in the dynamic of a romantic partnership, there's an ebb and flow of the 100%. And as long as it's always fluctuating, and again, not that one person does more than the other, that's the balance. And maybe that's what you need to achieve here with whatever this is. Okay, professional, platonic, romantic connection. One more shuffle here. Thank you. We have the Nine of Swords, we have the Five of Pentacles, and we have the Hermit. So there's something about learning, okay, whether you want to stay in this, we'll call it connection, because it could be professional, platonic, or romantic, whether you want to stay in it or not. There's something about learning from the past, because in the past, it wasn't balanced. At some point in time, you overgave. And again, the ebb and flow is okay, but when the scale gets stuck, that's an issue. So Nine of Swords. I think you're wondering if I'm going to stay in the situation, environment, or connection, or maybe you have a new situation, environment, or connection that's presenting itself in a Nine of Swords. You may be worried about, I don't want the past to repeat itself. Again, whether it's with the same or new. Clarify that Nine of Swords. One more shuffle. Thank you. I get the feeling I don't want the past to repeat itself. Yeah, Nine of Wands, the wounds, Eight of Pentacles, and the Two of Wands, bottom of that Queen of Cups. So again, there is a situation, rhyme or connection here for you, whether it's currently in your life or one that's presenting itself new. There's a feeling here, I don't want to put in all the effort, Eight of Pentacles. I don't want to make the decision, Two of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, to put in all of this effort, and then I just end up wounded again. So tell me more about that Five of Pentacles. Tell me more about the Five of Pentacles. Because there was something, Hermit, that you were supposed to learn from the experience that left you in the Five of Pentacles, right? The job that didn't pay you enough, promised you a raise, never got it, the relationship that fell apart. Maybe someone abandoned you or left you out in the cold. Tell me about that Five of Pentacles. One more shuffle. Thank you. Five of Pentacles, clarified by Five of Wands. Ten of Cups and Ten of Wands. Yeah, we don't want to do that again. Four of Swords. So whatever situation, right, in our connection this was, you felt like you always had to fight for something. You had to fight for the raise, fight for the pat on the back, you know, fight for the promotion, fight for their love, fight for their affection, fight for their time. There was some aspect of this particular connection that was not balanced because you were always in fight mode. Fight to be happy at work, fight to be happy with the friend, with the family member, with the lover. And I don't mean fight like punch them in the face fight, you know, when you're almost desperate for a return of affection. So you can be content with the workplace or the friendship dynamic or the familial connection or romantic partnership. And that's because when it came to some aspect here, you did too much. Okay, you were carrying all 10 of Wands. And it's like when you stop carrying the 10 Wands, things fell apart. So your advice here, okay, the Tarot card of the week reading is to figure out what was that aspect for you. Did you work overtime and not get paid and never say anything? Were you the one who was always cooking and cleaning? Your person never chipped in? Were you the breadwinner? You know, and maybe they had a job, but they never contributed to the bills. Were you the only one taking care of the kids? Something was off in this connection. Professional, platonic, or romantic. You know, were you the friend that you always showed up for them, but they, you know, you need a couch moved at 10 a.m. on a Sunday and they promise to be there and they don't show up and they consistently do that? Figure out what that is for you. There was some aspect here to that connection. Again, whether you want it in your life is irrelevant. The lesson, the Hermit, that you need to learn from it was, where did you overgive? What was unfair? And what was the point where it got unfair? Was it okay the first, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and then they started taking advantage of you, knowingly or unknowingly, and you didn't speak up? So there's something here about identifying where you overgave, and then be honest with yourself. Why did you allow it to persist for so long? Because you're going to have a chance now, either in the same connection or a new connection that's entering. And this time you get to do it differently. This time you get to say, this is what I need. Not this is what you have to do for me, but this is what I need, right? To keep this balance, I can make dinner 4 nights a week, but I need you to handle dinner the other 3 nights, whether that means takeout or fast food or whatever, a pizza in the oven, whatever it is. You know, we could have cereal for dinner, but there's something like that. So figure out what aspect of this relationship was off where you were overgiving, and you're going to have to be honest. And same thing, let's say it's a new job, you need to learn from the past job, right? When they say, oh, you start this job and in 3 months you get a raise, and 3 months comes and there's no raise, you probably stayed at the job. Knowing you, Capricorn, you probably stayed at the job because you're a very dedicated sign. But this time around at this new job, it's important that you be proactive, not reactive. So proactive would be 2 weeks before your 3rd anniversary or your 3-month anniversary. You send the email, whether it's to your supervisor or manager or the boss, whoever's that higher up for you, and say, in 2 weeks, I will be, you know, at this company for 3 months. Would you like to schedule my 3-month review as discussed in our, you know, interview, or as agreed upon when I was hired? It's like you need to be proactive here. So again, using the simplest of examples here with dinner. In the past, maybe dinner was left to you. This time around, it's I'll need you to handle dinner 3 days a week, and I'll take care of the other 4 days. And whatever they come up with for dinner, they come up with for dinner. But you can't, it's not fair to you to have to handle dinner 7 days a week. So something here was unfair. And again, we need a better ebb and flow with that. And there's something here about you being proactive. I don't think in the past you really expressed what you needed in a relationship, professional, platonic, or romantic. I think you just assumed the other person would know or would do right by you. And I don't think it worked out that way. One more shuffle. Thank you. The Hermit. Like, I always say to him, and he travels a lot for work, like during the day. I don't mean like long distance travel, but I'll say to him, I know that you get really busy in your day, but I need to hear from you, you know, around lunchtime. And it's not like I have to say this every day to him. He just knows now. We're 6 years into the relationship, and right around lunchtime, I get a text or I get a phone call. Hey babe, I went here, I went there, I got this done, and now I'm at this place having lunch. That's what I need from him. Again, based upon past experiences that I had in other relationships from him, I just need that midday checkup. And I think I assumed in my prior relationship, in my marriage, my husband should just know that, but he didn't know that. And you know, to go 10 hours not talking to someone during the day, you worry about them, you wonder about them. So it's like, I needed to be proactive and say, in this relationship, this is what I need from you. I need the midday check-in. And I got to say, he still does it. So the Hermit, we have the Devil. That's you, your major arcana card. Queen of Swords, this is you being proactive. Okay, Hermit, based upon those past experiences, the knowledge you've learned, this is what I need from you, or this is what I need you to do, or this is what I need help with. And then we have the Two of Swords, as opposed to staying quiet and not saying anything. Bottom of the deck, Four of Swords, and then feeling disappointed or heartbroken, and then you're in this healing process, or you just feel, you know, depleted. So I think what situation in your life needs balance? I think it's a connection-based reading with that Ten of Cups, and I think you need to be honest with yourself. Where was it off balance in the past? What would you need from that person in order to make it right? And it could even be something like, again, we'll use that dinner analogy. I need you to handle dinner 3 nights a week. But if by chance you can't handle dinner, then I need you to tell me by 12 o'clock that day. So I have the rest of the afternoon to figure out what I'm going to do for dinner. So again, it's that ebb and flow. I'll do it 4 days, you do it 3. If by chance you can't do it, let me know by noon. If by chance I can't do it, I'll let you know by noon. And that I feel like that's a better way of finding compromise in a relationship. Again, Two of Swords is a Libra card. It's the moon in Libra. And Libra is the house of partnerships and marriage and contracts, whether they're professional, platonic, or romantic. So I need this from you, and if you can't do it, I need to know by this time. Is basically the long and short of it. So let's get you 3 cards of advice. So this is something this week that you can work on. Think of one connection in your life, professional, platonic, or romantic, that you can just do a little practicing. You don't have to tell them. Just it's just between you and me. You just do a little practice thing here this week. This week I need you to do this. I'll do this, but I need you to do this. And if you can't do this, I need to know by this time. See how that works out for you. You might be surprised. They might actually come through. One more shuffle. Thank you. We have the Three of Wands. So moving forward, this is Sun in Aries, so it's me, myself, and I. So you, moving forward, Five of Pentacles, not doing that again, Hangman. So your little homework assignment this week, you have the Four of Swords at the bottom of both decks. See it from another perspective here, moving forward. What was this? Again, just pick one thing. You probably have 10 things that were not balanced with this person, whoever they are. But this week, just think about one thing and come up with, I don't want to say strategic, but come up with a way that you can address it. Again, not in a finger pointing way. I've cooked dinner 7 nights a week for the past 5 years, you mother effer. Not like that. More like moving forward. I'll handle dinner 4 nights and you do it the 3. I just look for a different way on how to address the imbalance. I think you'd be surprised. And this could be like saying to your boss, you know, I was employed here to work 40 hours a week. I know we've been really busy lately and you've been relying on me to work overtime, but I need to know by noon if you need me to work overtime that day, because I need to let my spouse know, or my person, or my kids, or I need to make alternate plans for my evening. So again, it's just letting people know ahead of time, if you need this from me or you can't do this, I need to know by this day or by this time so I can make alternate plans. And I think you're going to find a better ebb and flow in your connections if you can do that. That is what I have for you moving moving forward. Oh, that's what I have for you, moving forward. If you like those messages for the week ahead, if you like those messages, they resonated with you, you want to claim all or part of them, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video if you're able to do that. And don't forget to check out your other placements. Until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace.